Bubble sort versus merge sort. So these are both sorting algorithms. So they're both essentially going to sort your data out for you. But you need to think about what's good and what's bad about both of them. So a bubble sort is the easiest out of the two to program. So it's quite simple and easy to implement. It doesn't use much memory. So if you think of it, if you've actually programmed the bubble sort, you're literally using the original data structure in one temporary variable for as you're doing the swaps. So it's quite good from memory. And this one's a sort of higher level answer, but it can be quite an efficient way to check if a list is already in order. It's another use for a bubble sort. The reason being, you can put a break in a bubble sort. So if you say had a variable where it's working out if it's actually done any swaps in a pass, and it resets the variable every time, you can get it so if it's gone a whole pass and not actually swapped anything, it stops the algorithm. And therefore that algorithm is quite good for checking if lists are already in order. But that's quite high level, that one. Cons, it's an inefficient way to actually sort a list. Because worst case scenario, it would have to do the loop n minus one time. So this big loop we're talking about, it might have to do that loop. If you've got 100 items of data, it could have to do it 99 times to get stuff in order, which would become quite inefficient. And it doesn't cope well with large lists of data. By not cope well, it becomes even more inefficient with huge amounts of data. So it's not very good for large lists. That's your bubble sort. So a few good points, a few bad points. With a merge sort is much more efficient and quicker than a bubble sort if it's a large list of data. So if it's a really large list of data, merge sort is much better. But you can obviously imagine if you've got a list of 5 items, it'd probably be quicker to do a bubble sort, because with a merge sort, remember, you've got to split those items down into 5 separate lists and then start merging them back together. Whereas a bubble sort wouldn't take that long to loop through. So if you've got a large list of data, merge sort is definitely the way to go out of these two. And the other good thing is it's got a consistent runtime regardless. There isn't any way of breaking out halfway through or anything like that, but it's quite nice if you've got an algorithm where you know exactly how long it's going to take depending on the data. Whereas with a bubble sort, that's not necessarily true. So yeah, what I've said before, I kind of already said this one, it can be slower for small lists is a downside. If the list is already sorted, it will go through the whole process anyway. So with a bubble sort, you can program in a way where it breaks out if it's not swapping. With a merge sort, it doesn't really know the data, it just splits it all up and then puts it back together. So if the list is already in order, it will still go through the whole process, no way of breaking out. And the last one, it uses more memory to make all the lists, because if you think about it, it's got to store all those separate lists that it's breaking up, and then again the new lists as it's merging them back together. So it uses quite a lot of memory. But remember, when we talked about comparing algorithms, this one's worse for memory, but it's better for time. All right, so again, there's an advantage and disadvantage to both.